It's been a while since I sat down, watched an anime, got a cup of coffee, and it felt like the episode was 5 minutes, even though it was 20 to 24 minutes long. It's been a while since I felt that. It goes to show you that this series is definitely living up to the hype and the expectations that I had when I saw it in the summaries of what I should expect from Winter of Anime 2016. Because this second episode may not be as shocking to where it stuns you with that conclusion like the last week's episode did, but it still has a very interesting story to tell. For one, the overall design of this episode, or the visuals, is very unique for one certain reason which I want to point out. And I feel like many are going to miss this very subtle detail of this anime series if I just don't really point it out. For one, if you didn't notice, the video, or the entirety of the episode, it was a lot smaller. In terms of how big, a video is, usually takes up the entirety of a screen, well, it was kind of compressed a little bit, and in this episode, there was only one moment in this episode to where the entire screen was used up, in terms of when the story was advancing, and that was when the film strip popped up. Now, I don't know how many people noticed this, but when the film strip popped up and our main male character started talking about the reversal ability, you saw the film strips pop up on the sides to where the black bars are on the screen, and that was kind of letting us know that the visuals we are seeing is kind of like a recording, for instance, like a film strip. And that is really cool how the visuals were designed like that. Now, I know that the reason for this is probably for the animators to kind of save less time trying to fill up the entire screen because there's less space, but also it's very unique in a way, the way the animation is being done, to kind of hint at the ability reversal. But besides that, however, let's get into the real details. I just really wanted to point that out because that was so cool when I was watching this episode. It introduces us to one of the main female characters. The main female character that's probably going to be the primary focus of this story we are seeing. The girl that disappeared many years ago. And our main male character is tasked with doing multiple things in this reversal. For one, as we know, he's trying to save his mother after the tragic events of last week's episode. But also, we know a bunch of children come up missing. We also have it to where this girl, she pretty much dies. She dies, kind of like freezing death in the middle of the snow. And it's very sad the way that was showcased. Like, I got kind of emotional. Like, damn, that's pretty fucking sad. But then we know that the main male character has to do all this in a certain given amount of time. So I wonder if he is going to be able to use his ability anymore while he's back in time. What I'm getting at is, since we know he has the ability of time reversal, I wonder how many times it can reverse over and over again. Because see, he's went so far back into the past. I wonder if, let's say he fucks up somewhere down the road. Let's say he fucks up next week and someone dies. I wonder if it will reverse and could he still fix it, or is everything GG? Said and done, like he can't fix it anymore. I'm curious about that because that is something that needs to be explained, because if he fails to save anyone, I wonder if it'll go back or if there is going to be permanent deaths if he doesn't do something right, which could be really interesting for the character depending on how that goes. The way the character, our main male character, Satoru, kind of appreciates his mother so much more is a huge step compared to what he was like in the first episode. I remember pointing out in my first impression / review that he was very monotone. Throughout the entire episode, he was very monotone, he was very detached to where he is putting on this face, this like different type of person, and he reveals that in this episode. But also, the way he treated his mother, it wasn't the best. It's kind of like how you just don't really think about the situation until it's over. Like, if you're to lose something, let's say you're to lose a parent, I guess a daughter, a son, maybe you lose, a brother, sister, whatever, or you lose a very close belonging. You don't realize it's there, or you don't really appreciate it until it's gone. This has probably been said to all of us one time in our life. You don't really take the time to appreciate something until it's taken from you. And that's kind of what this was. Our main male character has learned to appreciate his mother or his living situation a lot more than he did. He was taking it for granted, like the happy times. Sitting down at the table, eating, with your parents. Many take that for granted and don't think much about it, but the main male character that's kind of lacked that for a long time, and it also has it to where his mother dies in front of him, he realizes if he wasn't blessed with this ability, like reversal, that could have been the last time he ever saw his mother, and, you know, he would have took for granted these happy moments. So it was very beautiful writing in terms of that, just to see how our main male character was appreciating what he had lost. So that's some really good, you know, steps he went up in terms of character development just for that scene alone. But then, when we see how he's trying to open up a little bit more to the girl that he's trying to save, it also shows you how he has changed. He's not trying to keep it all inside of him, he's also trying to express himself a lot more, even to his friends he had in school. So, very good stuff throughout this entire episode. But there is one thing that stood out among everything I have said when it came to the visuals, when it came to this character development, to his appreciation for his mother. There's one thing that really stood out to me, and that was the details on finding out more about our main female character's life. So, discussing it, she sends out an SOS signal. A signal in a writing, like some writing and drawings. And the drawing is very eerie. Right off the bat, the drawing is very eerie. You see this black sketches and shit, and it looks creepy. But in the writing, from my interpretation of what she means, is that she wants to be free. She wants to be on an island. Like, from what she writes, she wants to be on an island, and she wants to be by herself. And she wants to think back of how the town would be without her. So, there's many ways to interpret this, but the best way to I think the best way to interpret it would be she wants to be set free. Free from this pain, free from this sadness, free from these people around her, free from her everyday life. And the best way you can kind of consider free, in the way she's kind of trying to describe it, is someone that has lost all hope in living. Someone that does not want to live on. Someone that wants to die. And that's kind of what it looks like to me. It seems like she doesn't want to exist anymore. She wants to be gone. She's tired of dealing with this pain that she has to deal with all her life. We don't know the full scope of things, of what is going on. We know she's being abused because she has bruises on her, and from what we can kind of piece together throughout this entire episode, it is her mother that is doing the bruises to her. But we don't really know, like I said, the full scope. It could possibly be someone that's with her mother abusing her, which could lead into the possibility of kidnappings. We don't know. But the main thing is I wonder if the plot with this girl that's getting abused and disappears or dies, I wonder if she has anything to do with the kidnappings. Is there a connection with all of that? And if so, I wonder what. It might have to do with something along the lines of maybe her mother is with an abusive guy, and this abusive guy probably is doing the kidnappings. That's my assumption. We do know it has to be some form of male figure doing the kidnappings because of what happened to the mother in the last week's episode. Now, my first suspicions of watching this episode of who I probably think is doing the kidnappings, if it's not, you know, let's say like some form of boyfriend to the mother, it probably has something to do with the teacher. The teacher gave me some very eerie vibes when he walked into the door. Now, I know his eye color is kind of not the same, but still, it's very eerie the way the teacher walked in, and the way the episode really put a lot of focus on that character that barely had, honestly, any importance to this episode. He had a good 5 to 6, maybe even 8 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. He had a lot of time on the screen, and it really emphasized that teacher as soon as he popped up in this episode. And I wonder if it's trying to imply that the teacher was the one that was doing the kidnappings. I could be wrong, but that's what it looked like to me, the way the animation was done. Now, it could be a way to kind of throw us off, too. I mean, that's kind of the easiest assumption. I mean, usually a teacher would be someone to do something like that, because, I mean, they're around children, kidnappings, you would think there'd be some sick fucking bastard that might do something like that. But, I mean, that's probably one of the easiest ones, but it could probably be someone else. So enough of that. Next thing to look into is also just to see the conversation between our main male character, Satoru, and then the main female character, and their interactions very mature. For their age, very mature. Even though our main male character, he's not dumb. Like, he's not a middle school student, elementary school student. He's not dumb. He still retains his memories from when he was an adult, when he was 29, which is a plus right there. I'm so glad he has not forgotten anything. He has the general reaction of time travel, like an average reactor. reaction, which is to be expected, but to see how he has not lost his memories, how he still kind of retains all that, and he has this mature focus in his mind, I'm loving that quite a bit. And also the way he's looking at the entirety of this situation is very mature as well. You'd think a normal person would freak out and start telling their parents stuff like, oh my god, you were killed, and all that. That'd be like the normal reaction. But now seeing the way it's done, I'm glad he's not questioning himself like, am I really, did I travel back in the past? He knows he's back in the past, he realizes what has happened, he's trying to fix it. So I love the way our main male character is being described. But also that line to when he was talking to the girl, and they put their hands together, and he's like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're 29 stuff to do. What are you doing? That right there, fucking priceless. I love that shit so much. I got a good laugh from that. So, I mean, this episode overall, very, very enjoyable. I had no complaints whatsoever with it. If I had any complaints, actually, there's only one complaint I have. And the complaint is, it's too short. Too fucking short. It needs to be longer. Like, this needs to be an hour-long episode. But even then, it'd probably be too damn short. Oh yeah, there's actually one piece of news I want to discuss before I end this video. Apparently, the mangaka went on a limb to say that the ending of this anime is going to be exactly how the manga is going to end. Apparently. That's what I heard. I think it was on Anime News Network. There was an article, like, last week that was said to where the mangaka has given the main story's conclusion. Even though the manga hasn't written the main conclusion to the story, the mangaka has given the conclusion of the story to the directors of this anime, and they're going to be animating the real ending. So that's some good news right there. So if anyone's wondering if this is going to end on like a bullshit ending to where it might not end like the manga, I guess we don't really have to fear anything right now. So that's some good news right there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.